Hmm, that's something. Huh. Okay, I think I am on. Just testing. Hold on, people. I think I may be on. The connection tells me that it's not connecting, and then when I check over here in the mobile, then it shows that I'm on. So I'm on. Yep, I'm checking to see with my other connection. I do believe I'm here. Happy Halloween, everybody. I hope you were watching the Halloween parade on TV. I was just doing that, just ended a few minutes ago. So I've also been trying to connect here. It's again confusing like last night, but I'm on. I am on this time. So this is fabulous. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. So happy to be here for you. Oh my God. Do we have an audience? I need to check. Let me see. Okay, let's see if I have people coming into the chat area. So far, it doesn't show that there is. Always special, but I know that I can see me well. I sound well. So that's good. The connections are fine. I'm on Zoom, by the way, okay? So I got it into Zoom here. Well, I need to see if I have an audience. So let me check with my other system here. What's this? Okay. Right. 1, 2, 3. Check one more thing. Okay, that's interesting. Well, I told you it was Halloween and the unexpected is everything here. So here I am. So this is unexpected, but I see me here now. So I'm just going to get into the big screen here on Facebook, and I need to get into a chat window to see that everything is the same as it appears on my mobile system, which appears to be so. Okay. Now, the only thing I hope is that somebody's seeing me out there because I'm not sure. So I may be seeing myself here, I may be seeing myself on Facebook, but I don't know if anybody else is seeing me on Facebook. So I need somebody to tell me that you're out there. In the meantime, let's just start talking a little bit about tonight. So as you can all know, here in New York City, it's been cold. So it's been a cold Halloween, so far. And it was special. Mommy and I were out earlier. We had some medical appointments to do. So around 5 o'clock or so, we headed out and we did some medical appointments for her that she needed to do. And luckily we were able to fulfill, all of them. And so she's, okay. For now, she's good. She even had a podiatrist appointment. This is completely so off topic from this, evening's event, but she had a podiatrist appointment. Her feet are fine. Her other appointment, went well too. That was a preliminary for what's to come for next week. But so far everything looks good. So I can breathe a little bit, now because of this. And so that takes care of that section of things. Then, of course, it's like I said, it was really cold, wind, lots of wind today. So finally, the acorns have been falling from the trees. So you get a good view of that. Some of the leaves are starting to fall off of the trees more. like a regular fall season. So it's good to see. Now it really feels like fall. And so we were out, in the beautiful, autumnal environment and got something to eat, brought back as well. So here we are. And then watched the parade, which was really good. At least it wasn't raining, just a little bit cool, but everybody's having fun in the village, which was really fun to see. And that came to an end, and I tried to connect in here, and then there was again one or two things that were not saying that was one way, another way. You never know, but now I'm on. I just need to know if anybody else is out there, watching what I'm doing here. So that's where we're at right now. So I'm here checking to see. So far, I got no comments. So that's a good thing there. But here we are. Anyway, had a few more people from last night, however. Maybe people are out celebrating Halloween. Well, originally, the program was supposed to be last night because I had a feeling that nobody was going to be around here, not too much anyway, looking into here when you were all out celebrating Halloween in one form or another. But we did have a bit of a program nevertheless last night, but tonight was the more formal version to make up for last night's experience of unbelievable connection. We had another unbelievable connection again this evening, but nevertheless, here we are. So what I'm going to do is stay on for a little bit longer. If no one appears or shows up or whatever, then I'll just call it, a night. And we'll do the program at some other point. Anyways, basically a Halloween celebration, which I've always been doing since, 2020, 2022. I always do a program like this ever since then. And just for readings, if anyone wants to have readings or so, we're on for that. A little bit of astrology for the month of November coming up. October's been a pretty good month considering. Again, the atmosphere temperature-wise has been peculiar, to say the least. A bit of a dry month, of course, and then exceptionally cooler than normal temperatures that we've been experiencing. Other than that, for the most part, it went pretty well. You can't really super complain. The regular chaos at this point, the regular chaos is always, which is happening in the year right now, in the world right now. But other than that, things were going well. A few kinks here and there, which has to be expected. But, so far, so good. November is going to change. And that's going to be a bit of an uncomfortable month. So get ready. If anybody's listening out there or coming in, November is going to be a little bit more tempestuous, a bit more tricky. Certain aspects are going to get in the way. We're going to have a Mercury retrograde, also taking place fairly soon. So that's going to be lasting for the most of the month of November. So that's going to cause a few kinks here and there, as I will call it. And so it's going to be a bit of an unpredictable month. So it's about just being super aware, super astute to everything, making sure that you know what's going on, so that you don't get overwhelmed and overtaken if things don't work out the way you want exactly. Negativity gets in the way here and there. So that's something we're going to all have to navigate. And again, with Mercury retrograde as part of the problem, that's to be expected. So let's see what happens. Here in the New York City area, it's going to be fascinating since it's also an election for the new mayor. And there's a lot of commotion about that with the candidates, because a lot of people are not too happy with any of those candidates that are running. So the results, even though in one way it's being expected, but in another sense, there could be a surprise in store as things are rapidly changing. So between the New York City area, the New Jersey area also, uh, we will wait and see what transpires there. But it has been a chaotic, a tumultuous, and a, let's say, nasty, like a better way of saying it, campaign that we've been witnessing for the last several months. And it's all now coming to a head. So we will see what happens, this Tuesday. So that's the first portion of November. And then afterwards, there'll be much more happening coming in. As we know, the government has been shut for a month at this point, and now we're going to start really feeling the effects of that. So there's going to be a lot of upheaval coming us also because of that next month, even though some things are taking place now. To want to make a change, for the better, but it's not going to be easy. And then we have the rest of the month, approaching as well. And then we also have Thanksgiving, it's just now the next big holiday that's coming. This is holiday season after all. We're here right in the midst of Halloween, the night where the veil is the thinnest between the worlds. The spirits are among us. Everything comes out, powerfully. The spirits are close by. I've been having experiences of astral travel and dreams and meeting lots of fascinating people in the last 2 weeks, like I have not in a very, very long time. So I've been traveling a lot and meeting some old people, some old friends from a while ago, from years ago, meeting a lot of new friends, as I'll call them also. For the most part, they're all seemingly like helpful in some way. They're living their lives on the other side, in the other dimensions. I'm coming in basically visiting for them, but they've been, for the most part, very positive and helpful. So it's been an experience. I've been doing a lot of traveling on that side of things. And hello, Michael. Thank you for joining in, and thank you for letting me know that somebody's watching. And happy Halloween to you. And so you're the first one. I hope you're watching the parade, earlier, on television from Greenwich Village, if you weren't there for some reason. But that was a lot of fun. And now, we're here for a little bit. So now that I have an audience member, which I'm very pleased about, I can go on a little bit with the program now. So as I was saying, so we do have some challenging aspects ahead, for the coming month of November. As I said, October, pretty positive, despite some of the things that are going on in the world. But for the most part, from a personal aspect, personally for people, it seems, for most, it seems to have been going well, smoothly to a certain extent. Nothing's ever really going that much smoothly lately, but compared to other times, in the summer and whatever, it was a bit questionable. So here, we've had a little bit of a rest period before starting November, which begins tomorrow, of course. And again, as I said, with Mercury retrograde in the mix, that's going to be an issue. And a few other things that are popping up there. We had our eclipses also, which are part of the experiences always, whenever we're talking about, change. And we've had 2 major eclipses recently, and they go into October, affecting things. But October, has been more positive than it was in September. But again, as I was saying, we do have a Mercury retrograde approaching. It will be in Sagittarius and Scorpio, or Scorpio and Sagittarius, because that is the way the signs work. Scorpio is first and then Sagittarius after. Right now we're in the element of Scorpio. So we just started on the 22nd of October. So happy birthday to our Scorpio people out there. And Mercury retrograde begins in this period, beginning November 9th. So we have a few days away, but we're already feeling some of the effects of that. So from November 9th to November 29th, and this will be the last retrograde of the year. Thank goodness. We've had some rough ones this year. So we always feel the slowdown just even before, like 2 weeks before. So we're in that slowdown period already here. So we have that happening here. And so get ready for that. It causes some, commotion as always. For those of you who are familiar with this, you know what I am talking about, especially. So things will start to level out more towards the beginning of December as we go through the month of November, which again is going to be a little bit complicated. Right now we have Mercury in Scorpio, and that is action, movement. You may feel a bit more of aggression lately. And in a way, it gets you, if you use it in a positive force, it gets you moving. It gets you going and doing things that you haven't done in a while or should be. So that's a positive there. It's a tempering how you use the sign is all that it takes to make it work in your favor, not against you. So we have that going there, here as well. But November is going to be a bit of a problem child, as I said. And Uranus is one of the reasons why. We do have a full moon coming up on November 5th, and that's going to be in Taurus at 13 degrees. So that, again, causes some concerns. Taurus is a very stubborn sign. It's a sign that doesn't like much movement, also. And so it can be rather fixed in its way. And then when Uranus comes in, which is the one that likes to shake up things and move things, that causes tension. So we have to be aware of that. So we got Mars and Mercury opposing Uranus, which could be quite an experience. So just get ready with that. Watch your temperament. Watch what you say. Watch what you do. Again, Mercury is, part of the problem with that. But with these aspects also into play here, it amplifies things more and more. So we also have a new moon coming up on November 20th in Scorpio, towards the 28 degrees, towards the very end of Scorpio. So again, it's going to be an exact opposition once again here. And again, Mercury is going to be at its peak, it's heading towards, going back to its regular, orbit. So it takes a few days for that. You'll start feeling things there also. We do have, however, Jupiter coming in to be supportive to an extent. So that helps to calm down things somewhat. So be mindful of that, too. And so it's just been interesting. It's just going to be more fascinating. We don't like all of this tension, this aggravation, this violence, because there is a potential for violence here, especially in November. So the last thing we want to do is to add to it by losing our senses, our control, and giving into those negative forces. So we've had Jupiter here helping us out lately here a bit. We want to keep that good feeling going there. We want to keep the energy. They're just flowing nicely, helping us working through these things. We do have a transiting moon. The moon is about a little over half at this point. So the moon is waxing and it's in Pisces. So right now that's a very good thing, especially for Halloween. So Pisces is the psychic planet, the planet of the metaphysical. We want to connect strongly with spirit more than ever at this point. We're at the peak, of the spiritual season here, as they say. And that's only because the world consciousness, is on metaphysical things, on spiritual things, on the paranormal, on the ghosts and hauntings and strange things happening, because that's what Halloween, brings. But it also brings a rise, to connecting with spirit and connecting with these things as well. Pisces energy, luckily, helps to amplify, increase our sensitivities, our communications. So it works very well. Also, it's also very creative, too. So you want to utilize those positive aspects, in these things here. But again, so the thing here is to just be aware. I'm giving you information so that you're enlightened. We know what to expect. Don't think that, oh God, things are so bad and so wrong at this period. It's just astrologically, things are shaking us up one last big time, hopefully before the year ends. So let's get through with it now, connect it so that way we can hopefully have a nice ending to 2025, have a beautiful holiday season with the holidays coming up after Thanksgiving. It is, again, the Christmas season afterward there, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all there. So we want to make sure that that ends on a more positive note for all of us. So we have that here. But again, Spirit has been very active. I did do some, of the fairs that I said I was going to do. I was at the Empowered Path Fair at the beginning of the month there. And, got busy there for a bit. I wasn't as busy as I am accustomed to, however. But nevertheless, things went well. I connected with a lot of people there. And then, of course, the Eyes of Learning had their fall festival in October, just for Halloween time. There I was busy and did a lot of readings, a lot of connections for people. So it was a good experience. We had, of course, our lectures. People did show up and things went very nicely there, too, for those two events. And then basically I've been doing things on my own here, connecting with Spirit as always. And, and then having all these incredible experiences I've been having, lately. And knowing the Spirit is around and with me and connecting beautifully there or so. So we have that, going there too. So, okay. So if anybody out there who's watching, who's not saying hello, whatever, would like to address a question to Spirit, please do. This is the opportunity to do this. It's a Halloween night, and we're here just for that purpose, here for Halloween. Because sometimes we do have people watching in who don't say anything on the chat window. They're just viewing or seeing things, and just listening. But if you feel comfortable, you can step forward, and ask of Spirit. I know that they're around, and I'm always attuned as I do, these events, here on the computer. So we have that going here too. And hopefully November will continue to be a supernaturally charged, month. And it should be, because again, with these aspects, it tends to heighten the energies for these things. And we're in the high spiritual season. So right now, like I said, Halloween, Samhain, it's the peak. But we're going to be in high season for the next several weeks, as it was heading toward from September on, October being the crux of it. And now we're going to start waning a bit, but still very powerful in energies and in connections with Spirit. So all of us may be having very strong connections here. We may be experiencing things that we usually do not, with Spirit, with energies, with our dreams, with our psychism, our mediumship. We may be seeing things. We may be getting signs, symbols from those, on the other side of things, more than usual. So as I always say, just be open, receive, and never doubt. If it feels like it's so, then it is. Everything is you and your sense and your feeling as always. So we have that going on as well too. So we'll see that. I know I have a spirit around. I have several spirits around, so I can feel them already, around me or so. So that's a good thing. So the spirit is saying hello out there to whoever who is watching. So spirit is definitely watching and saying hello. Okay, just to make any of you who are out there aware. So if any of you have a brother in spirit or so, whatever, or brother like energy and spirit, that person is here saying hi to you. Okay, they wanted me to acknowledge that. So if that belongs to you, or if you can claim this particular person, so be that. That just making you aware that they're definitely close and being mindful of you. Yes, Michael. Yes, I do. And again, it feels like there is a male energy that is around and wanting to acknowledge that, that their presence is with you and they're saying hello to you, know who they are for quite a long time, also. And he presents wearing kind of like a plaid shirt, which seems to be something that he used to wear a great deal, from the impression that he's giving me. So you may recognize him because of that characteristic or that trait. And this is somebody who's been gone for a while, quite a long while. And he's definitely, making, wants you to know that he's, definitely around close to you. Hasn't strayed from you. Whenever you've been in need, he's been present and offering his support as best as possible, for you. And he just wants you to know that he's never left you. Just as, as loyal as he was as when he was here, whether it's like a brotherly energy, whether it's an actual brother or a very good friend who was like a brother to you or so, that feeling and that personality and that care, is still there, has not changed, and will never change for you either. So just to make you aware of that. So, oh, and he appreciates the music. He appreciates the music that you've played or have played, or the instrument or whatever it is. He's letting me know about the instrument. I don't know if it's the guitar or whatever it's in that or so, or the drums or something. I think you were a drummer, if I remember. Because we did speak, a few times in person. So I think you may have been a drummer or something. But I know you were a musician. He's just reminding me of it, So he is appreciative of that and always wants you to, to be aware of that and continue with that. This is what you love to do. So never give that up or lessen that, either. Okay? So that's a part of you. And he appreciates that and he acknowledges that strongly. He knows how important and how close that is for you. All right? So good. I'm glad. I'm glad. And I'm not going to give up any more information because, we don't want to go overly personal here in such a public forum. And but he just popped in just to remind you, okay, more than anything else, of his presence in your life. So we will have that. I see a great big pumpkin all of a sudden appearing before me with a big smile, a big grin. They're showing me for some reason. If there's anyone that's out there or so, just join in. Put your question down in the chat area here, the chat room. And obviously Spirit is quite active and alive and well. Thank you, Michael. And I'm glad. I'm glad. And there's Mommy in the background making a cameo appearance. As you can see, she's dressed in her lovely sweater there and still rocking it at 102. She had a busy day, today. So that's a good thing also. So so we got that going there. And now I'm seeing, for instance, the head of the sign of a goat, or Capricorn. So if anybody out there has something to do with the sign of Capricorn, that's it showing to me, let me know. Because I do see that, that symbol suddenly approach, and that is giving the essence of Capricorn for some reason. So if there's anyone out there that can relate to that particular symbol, just join in. Okay, they should still be floating around a bit, so we can always go into that a little bit later in here too. And so we're here as well. I am in a bit of a costume, as you can see. I'm wearing my pirate jewelry tonight and my, my scarf, my cape here, which has, witchy connotations to it. So that's what I'm doing here right now. I'm joining in the Halloween spirit, as always. So we always must join and dress in because that's part of the experience. Wearing a costume in old belief systems was a way of protecting yourself from the evil spirits that would come by. And when you were in a costume of some kind, that they would think that you're one of them. So they would pass you by and you were safe, at least for another year. So that's where the origin of wearing costumes come by, from ancient Samoan beliefs, from old European customs. So that's part of that experience there. Here, of course, in America, they chose the costume because it's fun and it's a way to go trick-or-treating and get candy. And we have candied I bought here as well, so we'll have some of that later too. And of course, then tomorrow is the sales where all the big candies like 50% off or so. So I'm looking forward to that so I can buy more. And we can stock up for the winter, or at least for Christmas. A 50% off candy and get all the good stuff, there too. So looking forward to that this weekend, as well. So it's always fun things to do for Halloween. And so doing that and seeing some spooky things on television. Of course, cable television is good for that. And so watching programs, as always, of the paranormal that were there or here in the internet, also. And I'll be having a Halloween weekend, looking at other stuff that I have, that have to do with Halloween or so. If there's anything that comes up with readings or so, I'll do those too, also. So you never know. Halloween is the season of surprises and interesting things. And you never know what spirits might be popping. So I'm looking forward to tonight to see what spirits will come by this evening for me, as I drift off into the beta state or the alpha state and see what comes through and see what connections happen there. So it's always a fun thing to do. And luckily, we're also very super protected here. And that I'm not worried about negative elements or negative spirits coming through. I did an investigation as well over there by the Hellgate Bridge, a few nights ago. Was it last week or so? Yeah. So I did an investigation, the Hellgate Bridge, once again, my second visit. Some of you who have seen my page will see some of the photos that I posted. There, I was there last year, actually, for National Ghost Hunting Day, but unfortunately the weather conditions were very bad. But this year, I joined more into the International Ghost, the Global Ghost Hunt. So I did it as part of that. And that was like, 10 days of that. So I just decided, well, let me see. I wanted to go to the Hellgate Bridge once again to visit again, see if the conditions were better. And they certainly were. I went earlier also, so I could see just before, sundown, which was good. So I was there, but then I was there for the evening hours just to get another sense of things there. And definitely there's a haunted history there, as I said in the video that I posted a few days ago. And there is a feeling of spirit, of something being there. Yeah, there's some feelings of sorrow and things because some people have unfortunately departed the world, from there. And it's a place that has an allure, for that type of experience, to happen. And it's kind of quiet and private at night. So there's always people walking here and there, but late at night or whatever, it's in a neighborhood by the East River. So it lends itself, unfortunately, for that type of event or events to happen there. And also, it also indicates that one thing that I found this year that opposed to last year was that there's also positive energy there too, because there's a lot of families that visit. It is a park. It's part of Astoria Park. And there's lots of people there, families that go there, people that go walking, go jogging, cycling there of all ages. There were babies there when I first arrived, even with families. So it's a warm energy, a loving energy there too, positive also. People enjoy being there. And I can see why. It's an interesting area for a park because it's right there on the strip of the East River, right at the edge of the East River. And the East River has so much connotations of transportation, of commerce. It's historic. It's part of New York. And and then right there in this neighborhood there also, so interesting. And I found it to be fascinating there. And I don't know too much about Astoria Park really or so, or even the Hellgate Bridge. I haven't studied it too much either because I want to keep myself open to it and see what comes to me because of that. And but I did get that sense of that there. And but there's a nice energy there too. So there's a dichotomy, there a dissonance, there's sort of energies there that is interesting to me. And I didn't see that nobody was able to really wanted to communicate with me from the other side there necessarily, even though I was calling out to them and addressing them and being of service or of help if they wanted to just to talk as a friend even and if to go there to be a therapist or whatever, just to talk to get to know them. They didn't really step forward that way, but I did have a sense that there is a strong energy there, you know, of those from the other side. And they don't make themselves so easily or readily available to communicate or to connect so much either, at least not with me. There, one day, you know, I'll pop in again. Maybe I'll go in the summer. And maybe the change of energy there will make it better, it'll be more comfortable also, you know, too. So I might pop over there in the summer or so and get a feeling for it. I also want to see the park too. It's really interesting there. As I drove by, there were some people playing soccer or whatever, or something in the field over there. It was really nice. I understand there's Socrates Park, which I've heard about for many years over there. There's art installations not too far off from there. So I'd like to visit that. I understand it's by Vernon Boulevard. So I'd like to see that as well. Maybe I'll pick up on some other things there too at some point. Just a different area. I've never hung out in that area before. I like to go visit new places and new things. So there might be a trip for me to go into Socrates Park fairly soon also. And hi, Zia, how are you? Good to see you here. I'm so glad you're here as well. And Michael, well, it can because it's part of the energy because, again, everybody's attention is focused to spirit. In this case right now, if you were feeling some sort of dizziness, it's because we were connecting right now for you. You know, as well too. So you may feel something there that is connecting, and that's part of the reason why you may feel a little bit lightheaded or so too, because we're raising the energy, raising the vibration. So when we are connecting with spirit and meant for a particular person, those are experiences that you can feel when spirit is around us. We can feel very cold. We can feel a bit out of sorts. We can feel dizzy. We can feel a bit almost like a high, you know, too, or charged with energy. You know, also, because spirit does that. They come on down to communicate and connect with us and to join their energies with us. So it causes a rise in energy with us, and we may feel different or usual things. Right now, as I'm speaking about this, I'm starting to feel a bit of a temperature drop around me, you know, too, because we're discussing this experience. So spirit is letting me know once again that they're definitely still with us. And in this case now, they're dropping the temperature, at least around me. I don't know if you're feeling anything at this moment, but I'm feeling, you know, a drop in the temperature as we're discussing this. So they're letting me know that they're definitely with us, very strong and very present. And yes, you're welcome. And yes, Zia, yes. Mm-hmm. Good for you. That was a good thing to do. Yeah, there can be some aggressive energy because we do feel that, and we've witnessed that as well. If we look in the news and in the media, of course, people have been acting out, you know, a bit more lately. It is Halloween also. There's lots of people about too. I'm just praying that nothing happens. Um, Around the village area because of the parade. And everything seemed to go nice and positive so far earlier. By now, the parade should be over. It's 10:30, I think, just a 3-hour thing or so. So, and of course, there are going to be lots of people partying later on out in the streets in the village and throughout the city, but especially in that area. So I just hope that there's no criminal activity or behaviors or, anything, or nobody gets hurt because of this and because of the energies out there, because so many people are congregating tonight, you know, in parties and bars and restaurants. So not just in New York, but throughout the nation and throughout the world even. So let's just pray and send good light and good energy for protection for everyone for this evening. As the midnight hour draws close, that's another thing. We have these 12 hours of spirit and of someone, so we have to be a little bit extra alert, a little bit extra careful. And Mike, you say you feel warmth. That's good for you. Good, so you may feel that. That's a good thing. I felt more of a drop in temperature for me. Everybody gets affected differently in different ways and different things here. So again, you never know with these things. It's very, very individual. Zia, so yes, you felt the energy. It's good that you stayed in. So that's a good thing. You're listening to, what you feel. And that's the important thing. Good about the candles always brings a lot of warmth and protection around the home environment. A lot of strengthened energy, also. And a good thing also, you felt comfortable, more relaxed also. So good for you. I think they're going to give Hocus Pocus tonight in some channel there or so, from what I understand. So good for you. Good for you for listening and for having fun with that. And yeah, so that's the thing to do. You gotta listen to yourself, listen to spirit, listen to what makes you feel good and makes you feel comfortable. That's the important thing. And that's key and essential for you. So you did the right thing. And and it just enjoy the positive aspects of Halloween. Enjoy the good things, such as the fun movies that are out there, the positive programs that are out there, the costumes, the candy, lots of candy. And just pray that you're not a diabetic, but lots of candy. This is the night to cheat, or the whole weekend to cheat. Just eat, eat, eat. I have lots of candy waiting for me. So I can't wait once I'm finished with this program so I can go in there and indulge. I'll give mommy a Snicker or two, whatever, also, whatever's in there. Maybe even a candy corn. Not the healthiest thing to eat, but honey, it's Halloween. So have fun. We all deserve it. After the last year we've been having, honey, we need to take care of ourselves. We need to pamper ourselves, enjoy ourselves when we can, do fun things, go off the diet a bit, not overload on the diet, going off the diet, but, do some fun things. As long as you don't get carried away with it and go off, where it's not logical anymore and rational. Have fun. You've got to enjoy and pamper yourself and make yourself feel good. Too much negative energy out there in the world right now. We can't allow it to overcome and overwhelm us. That's the thing. Fabulous. Fabulous. I'm glad that Gremlin won. What was Gremlin dressed as? I am curious to know. Was it something with green and black for some reason? I just get that feeling. That's good. That's good. Well, I just pick up green and black for some reason. I don't know why, but hey, that's my senses. That's intuition. Always go with your intuition. And so I'm glad they won. That's a positive right there. That's a lot of fun. And let's just go down the chat window a bit here. Just want to acknowledge all of you here, for joining me this evening here. Let me see what else. Let's do this here a bit. Okay. And I'm just going in the chat window, acknowledging some of you here. And let's see. Here we go. Ooh. So sending back some emojis, as they call it, in gratitude. And here we are once again. Very good. And whoops. I'm bringing, let me see, Zia. Hold on a second. I'm trying to acknowledge you now too, Zia. Hold on. There you are. Okay. Very good. Okay. Uh-huh. Oh, that's hysterical. You're kidding. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, the characters in Breaking Bad, and with a cool history teacher, to have also that participated that way. That's good. So I imagine that the history teacher must be bald. I don't know that much about Breaking Bad, but I do know that the principal character was bald as a billiard ball, and the other dude was young. So I'm assuming that Gremlin was the other dude, I guess they're wearing dark glasses or whatever. But that's fun. That was fun to do. See, offbeat type of characterizations are always fun to do. The unexpected. That's one thing about the Halloween parade. It's always the unexpected going on there. The people come up with the most incredibly imaginative things. And that's what's part of so much fun about the Halloween parade in Greenwich Village. That people spend weeks, sometimes months preparing those costumes, getting things in place, spending money on it, expressing their creativity in ways that we could never imagine. It just brings it out, there. And it's just wonderful to experience. I marched in the parade several times in the past. So that was always a fun thing. And haven't done it in a while because it just wasn't the same after 9/11 and then the things that happened or whatever, because it was just cordoned off too much with the police at the barriers and whatever. You just couldn't jump in from the streets anymore like you used to. You have to stand all the way at the beginning of Spring Street over there and then wait hours and hours. I did that like a few times towards the end. And it was like something waiting 3 hours, 4 hours. Oh my God. It was like intense, waiting there until you could finally move. But then it was fun just to march, but it was just too much. And then it got too heavy there. So yes, 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 good for you. And so that was the fun thing there. And so, but I enjoy watching it on television. I'm glad that, Spectrum TV here in New York City and Queens here, does it. They give you an hour and a half of live broadcast of the Halloween parade. So it's fun. You don't miss it. You get to see a lot, except for little segments here and there on the 11 o'clock news. You get to actually see the parade and see all the fabulous people, the interviews, the costumes, the music. It's just a lot of fun. So it's the next best thing to actually being there. So that's a good thing. I'm just focusing on something I just want some information, here. I want to see something. Okay, so this was, okay. Okay, a good thing there. Okay, good. So let me see, that would make that 14 years ago. Okay, good. I'm just watching something elsewhere because we have the television on here as well, and I just happened to see a very dear friend of mine who is on a paranormal program. As I'm doing my program, I just want to glance over for a bit, and a dear friend of mine happens to be on a paranormal program doing a paranormal investigation from a while ago. So it's just fun to see her after so long, on TV. Also here. So happy Halloween. Spirit is working overtime. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. That's fun. And so that's a good thing. Yes, please show me the picture. I'd love to see it. Thank you, Zia. That's be a lot of fun. And hopefully one day, not too far future, I'd be able to do. I don't know if I'll go back to the Halloween parade because again, I don't like standing there forever. I would love to march, certainly, but it's just a big thing. And the weather have to be good. I don't know. But I like to do something more Halloweeny like or whatever, eventually. So we'll see. But doing this program is fun because I get to hang out with you over here and do this and do psychic readings, for the audience. And we had a nice connection here earlier here, so that's worth it right there. And talking a bit about, other things that just to give you information so that you're aware, you know what to expect. So when you see things happen in the coming weeks or so, you know that there's a reason why, or an aspect as to why. So it helps you go through it, navigate through the experience, helps ease things for you, make it better for you, make you feel more empowered, as you go through certain things here. And oh, thank you, Zia. That's so sweet of you. Thank you so much. Oh my God, that's what completely unexpected. Oh, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Um, that's really unexpected. And so it's a good thing to do. And right now, with the way the world is right now, Halloween, you know, well, luckily this Halloween people have come together and are making it fun and are making it nice, which is a good thing. And that's a sign. That's a good sign of hope and that people are trying to be positive, because earlier there were people outside, going back and forth between the houses here and with their children, their families, parents, guardians dressed in costume as well, accompanying their children of all ages, some very young, some older, in costume, going out there and just going trick-or-treating. And it was just fun to see and to do, and in a more gentler way. Thank you, Sia. Thank you so much. That's so very sweet and kind of you. Thank you. And it was just nice to see. And it was just very positive for what I saw. A change from years ago, several years ago, where you would see that there were people going out and about trick-or-treating, but they were trying to cause trouble, where they were throwing eggs, or defacing things, or screeching or screaming in the street, or yelling. And this year, nothing like that at all. It's very just families, children going out in costumes, trick-or-treating around. It was nice to see. That's what trick-or-treating and Halloween is about. It's coming together, celebrating spirit, having fun with spirit, also the good side, the positive side of spirit, not so much the negative aspects. For those of you who like the horror movies and the ghouls or whatever and all that stuff, hey, as long as you're not hurting anybody, it's not hurting you, enjoy yourselves. That's part of it too. In a way, it's educational. And we have, again, the paranormal shows and activities, and such as this program here, promoting the positive side of things, focusing in on the good aspects, but also on protection, which is very important, against negative energies and negative forces. You want to protect yourself against anything negative. Like I always say, protection is everything. And you know that I do paranormal investigations. So when I do those, such as I did last week, and when I went to what else did I do? I went to visit the cemetery a few weeks ago as well, over that was kind of haunted, but I was very heavily protected, when I did that, because I know that there are energies out there that may not have your best interest at their heart, if they have a heart. So you have to surround yourself in a protection of the light and believe that that protection is there and will protect you strongly, to keep those elements and those things away from you and not bring anything back with you. So that's the thing, it's about education, also. And it's about standing your ground and not being afraid and doing what you need to do to cast and take things out and away from you. You feel something negative, such as what Zia did, this evening. She knew what to do. She felt something not so helpful. So you went out and you protected yourself. And you came and you protected yourself at home. You did what you did with the candles. It's all about light. It's all about protection. And you did what you did for the best thing for you. And it works out very well. And this whole weekend, it's going to be like that, a little extra protection more than usual. And when you go out and about doing things, and if you feel anything or sense anything, see what it's about. If it's meaningful enough, take out a notepad or so and write it down. Write down your experiences. Write down what you felt, what you saw, what was connected, what you communicated with. If it's in a dream, when you wake up, have a pad and pen next to you, write down the impressions from your dream. Write down what you experienced, what you saw, what you felt. If there was any connection, if anyone that you recognize, what did they say to you? What did you say to them? How did they look? How did you look? How did you feel? Just last night or very early this morning, I had an experience like that as well. An experience like that. And I was able to luckily gaze upon myself somewhere in a mirror in the dream. And I saw myself looking rather good. Not the way I usually look like here, because I was wearing an interesting kind of yellow dress, which was cut down all the way down like a V, and my hair was shorter, but it was nicely coiffed and darker than usual. But I had needle hair, and I had a purse on, and I had good makeup on. And so, oh my God, look at me, honey. On the other side here of this normal plane, it's not the way I usually look, but this is fine. This is good. This is promising. So this is a good thing. So that's just one thing that I did this morning. I remembered the experience. I remembered what I saw, what I felt, who I communicated with also, different persons that I never had met before, but friendly. And again, there are people living on the other side, in other dimensions, in other realities. That's their world, that's their thing. And you can come in as a visitor and pop in, have an experience, and then you come back again. And take it from there. See what it means to you. See what it's telling you. See if you're like, does it make you feel good? Does it make you feel like you have to watch out for something? Does it feel that you're growing or progressing? Does it make you feel like there's hope, for the future, validation for something in one way or another? Symbols. They talk to you in symbols sometimes. They talk to you in experience. And if you're speaking with someone, try to remember what they said to you. And again, write it down. It could be significant later on, if not immediate. So always remember. So this is all about education for you. Education and just branching out, reaching out farther than this world here, than these dimensions here. And it's breaking through to the 4D, the 5D, or whatever it's called. Breaking beyond our dimensions here in space and time. There's a lot more out there than we all realize. And there's a lot to learn. So we're coming together with that. So at this point, what time is it right now? It's about, 4:47 or so. All right, so I'll stay on for a few more minutes, but I'm glad that you guys were here, watching here. And there may be one or two other people out there watching that are not writing in or saying anything, but they're watching. I know you're out there. Well, thank you so much for tuning in and for watching and being with us for our Halloween program here. And hopefully, you're getting something out of this and something of what I'm telling you, what I'm instructing you about, what I'm teaching, because I like to teach, obviously. And you can take that and utilize it for your own well-being and see how that can help you. And of course, if you ever need to reach out in any way or whatever, just please do. I'm always on Messenger here or connect on my page here. You always connect, and I would be happy to address your questions or your concerns. And that's what the Angelus Transpsychic Express is all about. It's about having people learn about spirit, exposing you to the different fascinating things that are out there, different elements, the different personalities, different people writing different things, putting in their posts, writing their articles, seeing their viewpoint, doing their research, their investigations, their experiences. Always learn something from it. Always take it with you. I've learned so much about spirit just by connecting with others and learning from them, whether it's in person, from reading in books, from media, from the internet, from watching television, seeing the way they do things, the way they work or whatever, and seeing what resonates with for me, from them. And it's all a big communal, experience, learning from one another, connecting with one another, to find out what's out there. We want to know. And it's about connecting with this world and the next. We're going to be in the next world no matter what. We might as well know something about it as of now. Instead of just, being here, living our lives, and then going up there and then, oh wow, and then connecting there. As I always say, as Channel 5 always says, the more you know. It will not hurt you. It will serve to enhance and to help you always. So here we have it here. So on this note, I think we're going to say good night. We're going to come to a close here because we're almost reaching 11 o'clock. And some of you may want to go to sleep or whatever. You may have to get up early. And I have some things to do tomorrow. I have some errands to run, also some things to do. And so I like to do that a little bit early as well, see how mother is feeling, also you may take her out again, see what we can do, run errands or so here and there, and do some more Halloween things. I gotta go up to the house in Bayside. It must be wild, there. There's this magnificent house in Bayside, Queens, that I like to go to every year. They put out a display, honey, that is absolutely incredible. And I always take pictures of it. I've even done video of it. So I want to see. I went by not too long ago, a few days ago. They were starting to make it happen there, so it was fabulous. I would have gone tonight, but it's just a little bit too cold. And I went to the program anyway. And I went to the Halloween parade. It was a very busy day. As I said, mother had her medical appointments, also just wasn't feasible. But they'll be out and running there the whole weekend for Halloween. Hopefully the weather's better tomorrow night. So I'll be over there. Maybe I'll film some stuff. I'll post it on the page here, and certainly take some pictures. I'll post those too, so you can have a look at it. Always fabulous displays. Real pure Halloween. Gets you right into the whole spirit of everything. And so that takes care. Yes, thank you. See, I always tell her that. I always let her know that you send all your wonderful blessings and your hugs and always to her. She always appreciates you for that. Always as well, just to make you know that too, okay? So for those of you who are still out there hanging out, thank you so much for joining me for this one. And we'll be back again in a few weeks. I try to do this at least once a month or so. Um, if anything special happens in the meantime, I might pop in a little bit sooner. I might do a meditation in the meantime. We could certainly use it. So get ready for that. This week it'll be a bit intense, at least here in the New York, New Jersey area. Thank you everyone for all the hearts. And so we want to do everything that we can to send out positive energy of calm and that things change to the better in a more positive way. And so I might pop in a few days or in a few weeks with another, perhaps with a meditation to help us along the way. As I said earlier, November is going to be special. So we could certainly use it, okay? All right, everybody. So thank you once again for joining me this evening, and hope you have a wonderful Halloween and weekend, because there's lots more happening this weekend. And if there's anything that I find out or see or do more, I'll be posting on the page as well too. I'll let you know as well too, okay? So take care, have a lot of fun, eat a lot of candy, go out, do whatever you need to do, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. And it's the veil between the worlds, October 31st. It's Samhain. Tomorrow is All Saints Day. So I'll be celebrating that as well too. So I'll be posting things on All Saints Day. And then November 2nd is, of course, All Souls Day, Day of the Dead, which is becoming better known here in the United States and much more popular. And it's such a beautiful holiday. All these holidays are so beautiful. And I'll be posting about, All Saints Day as well, and All Souls Day, too. High communication energy, high spirit energy. If anything comes about or whatever, thank you, Zia. I'll be looking at it, right after this. And, Angelo Roldan. There you are, whoever you are. Okay. Well, it's interesting to see you here. And I was about to go, but then I saw this information come in. Okay. And there we are. Let's see. And let's see, away we go over here. And let's see. I'm just looking here for some things. Okay. And okay, so I said you about the picture also. So we got some good things here. So we're out to run. And finally, I'm going to be running. Just want to mention about All Souls Day, All Saints Day, especially. We didn't talk about that earlier. But the thing is that the most important thing is that you are aware of it and that you also light candles, for both days as well. All Souls Day, we can connect with those loved ones in spirit, in a more purer form. So please, do that if you want. And then All Day of the Dead is to commemorate, those who have passed as well too. All Souls Day is a little bit more, I would say, angelic. At least that's how I interpret it. It's more angelic. and more with the saints and the spirits or whatever. So that's a nice connection there. All Souls Day, Day of the Dead, Los Días de los Muertos, as they say in Mexico, especially. It's about, commemorating your ancestors. And there, as you know, they go to the cemeteries and they put out a gigantic feast and they spend the whole night. They're communing with their loved ones, and the families go and they make this big spread of food, and they just hang out with candles and colors and flowers, and they just spend the whole night communing with one another, remembering those who passed. And it's a beautiful holiday. And it's just something to celebrate. It's celebrating those that moved on. They're not really dead, they just moved on, but it's a way to connect and to communicate, more and more. And the whole thing is, just to love, and to love those who passed, love those who are present. And it's just, to connect beautifully there for everyone. And Angelo, yes. Okay, Angelo, good. I'm glad that Italy was phenomenal. Excellent. Very, very good. And I'm glad that it was everything that was prognosticated and that you had a good experience, there. And next time I see you, if we see each other in person, you can tell me more about it, in person. But it's good that that came through for you. Again, this just demonstrates Spirit knows what you're not aware of or what you don't think is possible, what Spirit tells. And never doubt Spirit, because they are never wrong. And this is a prime example, of that. So be aware always. Okay, so that's a good sign of things. So on that note, I am going to now finally say farewell, okay? And so again, one last time, happy Halloween. Have a good Halloween weekend. Enjoy everything. And I'll see you all again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Happy Samhain.